Okay friends, this is first lecture of second unit high pressure boilers. You have already studied this high pressure boilers in the thermal engineering in second year of in which first semester. Okay, then this all not all but few of them we have to study in this high pressure boiler. Okay, in this particular chapter. Now, according to IBR, that is Indian Boiler Regulation Act 2007 have defined the boiler. Okay, they have said what is the boiler, or they have defined that boiler is a closed pressure vessel in which steam is generated with a capacity exceeding 25 liters, gauge pressure greater than or equal to 1 kg force per centimeter square, and water is heated at 100 degrees Celsius or above. All such vessels are called as boilers. Okay, now next one is uh, let's see the characteristic feature of high pressure boiler, that is method of water circulation, then uh, improved method of heating, then type of tubing, pressurized combustion chamber, high steam pressure and temperature, compact size at intensive heating, high efficiency once through construction. So all these components we have to see. Then let's see method of water circulation. The force of water circulation is increased and maintained with the help of centrifugal pump, which force the water through the boiler plant. It increases the mean temperature of heat addition and evaporation capacity. Then improved method of heating. The heat transferred by radiation along with conduction and convection. The total heat receiving equipment is divided into several parts, so they can easily be located in various zones of furnace, or most efficient heat transfer to be to the water. Then type of tubing. The large number of small diameter tubes are used, so the ratio of surface area to volume increases. Then pressurized combustion chamber to improve the rate of combustion and thus increase the heat release rate. Pressurized air is forced in the furnace with the help of forced draft fan, so a large amount of heat is produced in small space. Higher steam pressure and temperature. The steam is generated at higher pressure in the range of 80 to 300 bar and temperature up to 450 to 85 degrees Celsius. The two superheater are used in series. Then compact size. The high rate of heat transfer inside the boiler induces the overall size of boiler and the boiler becomes compact. Intensive heating. The furnace temperature is high, pressure boiler is high enough, and therefore 70% of heat is transferred to water by radiation. This is a faster way of heat transfer. High efficiency. This boiler have better firing method, monitoring furnace condition, control flue gases and water velocity. Okay, then let's see how this boilers are constructed. These are operating at above critical pressure, so the water directly flushes into the steam in the tube itself. It eliminates the need of a boiler drum. Okay, then advantages of high pressure boiler. Let's see what are the advantages of boiler, in which because of high velocity. First, see advantages of the high pressure boiler. Because of high velocities, tendency of scale formation in the tubes is reduced. Okay, in the boiler tubes, the water flows with very high velocity and steam also flows with very high velocity. Therefore, the scale formation inside the tubes get reduced. Small lightweight tubes of better heating surface arrangement can be used. This makes the unit compact and reduce erection time and cost of the boiler. Due to forced circulation for heating of all the parts in uniform, which avoid overheating and development of thermal stresses. There is more flexibility in the arrangement of furnace tubes and other boiler components. The steam can be raised quickly to meet the variable load requirements without the use of complicated control devices. The efficiency of the boiler is increased by 40 to 42%. A very rapid start from cold is possible if an external power supply is available. Hence, the boiler can be used for carrying peak load for standby purpose with hydraulic power station. All the part are uniformly heated, therefore danger of overheating is reduced and thermal stresses problem is minimized. They require less heat of vaporization. Okay, these were all the advantages of boiler that we are going to see in the upcoming boilers. Okay, now let's classify all these boiler. How these boilers are classified, let's see that. Now horizontal, vertical or inclined boiler. Okay, first the boilers are classified into according to its vessel axis. Let's say it is horizontal, vertical or inclined boiler. If the axis of boiler is horizontal, the boiler is called horizontal. If the axis is vertical, it is called vertical boiler, and if the axis is inclined, it is called as inclined boiler. The part of horizontal boiler is can be inspected and repaired easily, but it occupies more space in horizontal. The vertical boiler occupies less floor area. Then fire tube and water tube. In the fire boiler, the hot gases are inside the tubes and the water surrounds the tubes. Example: Cochrane, Lancashire and locomotive boilers. In the water tube boiler, the water is inside the tubes and hot gases around them. Example: Babcock and Wilcox, Stirling, Yarrow boilers, etc. Now externally fired and internally fired boiler. These are the boiler is known as externally fired if the fire is outside the shell. Example: Babcock and Wilcox. Boiler, Stirling boiler, etc. In case of internally fired boiler, the furnace is located inside the shell. Example: Cochrane, Lancashire boiler, etc. We will see further. Then forced circulation and natural circulation is in forced circulation type of boiler. The circulation of water is done by a forced pump. Example: Bellocs, Lamont, then Benson boiler, etc. In natural circulation type of boiler, circulation of water in the boiler takes place due to natural convection current produced by the application of heat. Example is Lancashire, Babcock and Wilcox boiler, etc. High pressure and low pressure boiler. The boiler which produce steam at pressure of about 80 bar and above are called high pressure boiler. Example: Babcock and Wilcox, Velox, Lamont, Benson boiler, etc. The boiler which produce steam at pressure below 80 bar are called low pressure boilers. Example: Cochrane, then Cornish, Lancashire and locomotive boiler, etc. Stationary and portable. Primarily, the boilers are classified in as either stationary or mobile. Stationary boiler are used for power plant steam, for central stationary utility power plants, for plant process steam, etc. Mobile boilers are or portable boiler include locomotive type and other small unit and for temporary use at site. Single tube and multi tube. The fire tube boiler are classified as single tube and multi tube boilers, depending upon whether the fire tube is one or more than one. Example: Cornish simple vertical boiler are the single tube boiler and rest of the boilers are multi tube boiler. High pressure boilers are the following that we are going to study: Lamont, Benson, Loeffler, Velox, Skemdit and Hartmann. All these 5 boiler we have to study, and this particular high pressure in this particular unit high pressure boilers. Let's see first that they have given that Benson boiler. Okay, Benson boiler, see that we'll take it like this. Okay, this is Benson boiler. This is Benson boiler, in which let's see all its component. Now let's see one by one. Feed pump is feeding the water from here. Okay, water feed supply is given over here of water. Okay, you can see water is entering over here, though the furnace is over here or the fuel is burning over here, the water is supplied from here. Why? It is because what? The heat which is going with the exhaust gases is utilized for preheating of this uh, water. Okay, since it is called therefore it is called as economizer, because it is increasing economy of this boiler, it is utilizing more heat. Okay, therefore you can see over here in this particular boiler, in this Bunsen boiler, that feed water is coming from here, feed water is coming from here, which is going into economizer. This is whole vessel. Okay, whole setup is given in it. So feed water is entering from here, which is absorbing the heat from the flue gases, exhaust gases. Okay, then it is again directly fed to the furnace. Okay, where the fuel is burning. Okay, you can see here tubing is uh, in zigzag way uh, to put that water for longer time in that radiation zone or heated zone. Then this is directly get converted in or goes at this point. Heat gain is all by radiation heat transfer. Okay, in this, at this portion I am going to show you. At this portion, the total heat gained by this water in this tubing is all due to the radiation heat transfer. Okay, then water transfer from here goes to here, then by convection, because the after burning the fuel over here, the gas get heated and goes up. Okay, therefore gas is giving or transferring this energy to this water by convection. Then at this point the water is almost get, then more heat is added to that, added to the steam. Then again it is fed to the superheater. Superheater is what? In the in previous year of thermal engineering you have studied this superheat. What is superheated? The to increase the temperature of dry air or dry steam, to increase the temperature of dry steam up to 650 degrees Celsius, that is called as superheating. So here in this, at this point where at this point the temperature of that steam increases very high, and then steam becomes superheated dry, then this steam is supplied to the generator. Okay, in this way the all the water circulate from this Bunsen boiler, and which is used to turn the turbine. Okay, now again let's see this, that this is vessel. Okay, in which all this assembly is put. Now the fuel is fired over here at this point, and water is supplied from here. Okay, cold water is supplied from here. Now up to this economizer, water gets small temperature, water get heated at small temperature. Okay, let's see with different color. First water enter the boiler. Okay, in economizer the temperature of water get heated quite, or temperature of water get increased, sorry for heating. So it is increased, and then it is supplied directly to the at here, where the water get converted into steam. Okay, then this steam is again supplied over to here to increase more temperature. Then this steam is get superheated. That means it becomes, there is no water molecule present. That means this steam becomes total dry, and this dry steam is then fired on turbine to generate electricity. Okay, in this way this water circulation in this Bunsen boiler takes place, and all these flue gases, all the flue gases goes from here. Okay, the flue gases are exhausted to the atmosphere. Then you have also seen, or you might be seeing, that this arrangement, okay, in which they have provided a blower or a fan, which is blowing the air into this. Okay, here this blower is taking the air, atmospheric temperature air, and raising its temperature, and then this hot air is fed to the combustion chamber. Okay, why? Because the fuel should not be lost for the heating the air. That's why the air is preheated to supply it to the furnace, so that to reduce the loss of fuel to heat that air, as well as the temperature of flue gas get decreased, and which is utilized for, or we are saving our energy to increase the temperature of this water. Okay, now this was the Bunsen boiler. Now let's see what the given in this notes. Okay, the main difficulty experienced in Lamont boiler in the formation of attachment of bubbles of the inner surface of heating tube. The attached bubble reduces the heat flow and steam generation, as it offers higher thermal resistance compared to water film. Bunsen in 1922 argued that if the boiler pressure was raised to critical pressure, that is 225 atmosphere, the steam and water would have the same density, and therefore the danger of bubble formation can be completely there. Then natural circulation boiler require expansion joints, but these are not required for Bunsen boiler, as the pipe are welded. Then the erection of Bunsen boiler is easier and quicker, as all the parts are welded at site, and workshop job of tube expansion is altogether avoided. The transport of Bunsen boiler parts is easy, as no drums are required, and majority of the parts are carried to the site without pre-assembly. Then Bunsen boiler can be erected in a comparatively smaller floor area. The space problem does not control the size of Bunsen boiler used. The furnace walls of boiler can be more efficiently protected by using smaller diameter and closed pitch tubes. The superheater in the Bunsen boiler is an integral part of forced circulation system. Therefore, no special starting arrangement for superheater is required. The Bunsen boiler can be started very quickly because of welded joints. The Bunsen boiler can be operated most economically by varying the temperature and pressure at partial load and overload. The desired temperature can also be maintained constant at any pressure. Sudden fall of demand create circulation problem due to bubble formation in the natural circulation boiler, which never occur in Bunsen boiler. This is picture of incentiveness of to load fluctuation make it more suitable for grid power station, as it has better adaptive capacity to meet sudden load fluctuation. The blowdown losses of Bunsen boiler are hardly 4% of natural circulation boiler of same capacity. Explosion hazard are not at all served, as it consists of only tube of smaller diameter and has very little storage capacity compared to drum type boilers. During starting, the water is passed through the economizer, evaporator, superheater, and back to the feed line via starting valve. During starting, valve B is closed as the steam generator start and it becomes superheat, the valve is closed and the valve is opened. During starting, first circulating pump are started and then the burner are started to avoid the overheating of the evaporator and superheater tube. Now let's see advantages of this Bunsen boiler. We have seen this. Let's see some more. As there are no drums, the total weight of Bunsen boiler is 20% less than that of other boilers. This also reduces the cost of boiler. Natural circulation boiler require expansion joint, but these are not required for Bunsen as types are welded. Direction of boiler, Bunsen boiler is easier. All these point we have studied. So this was the Bunsen boiler. In next lecture we will see Velox boiler. Okay. Today we will stop here. Thank you.